世界脉动，澳洲视角，欢迎收看 AMEC 澳洲留学网络电台，您的第一手留学网络平台。Hello， 大家好，我是 Yvonne。Hello， 我们今天请到了这个 Tasmania 的这个Associate Director， 特别来到我们的现场 Helen。Hi，
你好，How are you？
OK， 我们今天的这段访问呢，会用英文的来访问 Helen， 她特别从这个来专程来台北啊，然后来拜访我们。那我们也希望呢，透过这一集的介绍，因为很多的同学呢在询问怎么样去 Tasmania， 因为这个方面的信息呢在网络上也不多，所以呢，我们今天特别很感谢 Tasmania 的这个最高就是国际部的领导人呢，来帮我们解释一下，介绍一下 Tasmania。OK，Helen。Yes.
Over to me. This is really, really exciting. And I'm just going to talk to you about a place that I'm really, really passionate about, and that is not only Tasmania, but the University of Tasmania, obviously. So what we'll do is we're going to whip through a few slides, and I just want to show you some images about the place where we are, and we'll then I'll talk a little bit about the courses that we offer, and then just a little bit as well then about the life that you can expect as a student at the University of Tasmania. Okay. So what we'll first do is just talk a little bit about us as a university. We're a very old university. We've been around for 130 years, and we started out in a beautiful stone building in Hobart with 3 lecturers and 11 students. We've moved on quite a bit since then, obviously, but our academic excellence is something that has not dissipated over the years at all. We like to think, and what I'll show you in a short while as well, is that the place that Tasmania is makes us a nation of very creative thinkers, a state of very creative thinkers and problem solvers, and that has seen us generate powerful ideas both for and from our island. So what can you study at the University of Tasmania? Well, you can study a number of disciplines. We've got 4 actual colleges. We've got our College of Arts, Law and Education, our College of Business and Economics, our College of Health and Medicine, and then we also have our College of Science and of Engineering. And we're based around a number of different campuses actually within Tasmania itself. We've got 3 campuses, one down in Hobart, the capital city, one up in Launceston, and another one in Burnie, gorgeous Burnie up on the northwest coast. We've also then got a campus in Sydney where students are able to study nursing and paramedicine. But we'll get a little bit more to that in a moment. So starting off then...
You have a campus in Sydney?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
yeah, no, we have a campus in Sydney in Rozelle, gorgeous campus in the suburb of Rozelle, and as I say, that's where we offer nursing and paramedicine.
Oh,
and
really?
Nursing, actually fast-track nursing, so students are able to study nursing in 2 years.
Oh, so the student can go to Sydney to
Absolutely.
Study University of Tasmania.
Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely, and watch this space because students are also soon going to be able to go to Melbourne to study. University of Tasmania, but I've not put this on here yet because that's an exciting. That's a little bit of breaking news just for you. Okay. So just want to just look a little bit at our campuses and what you will notice and what I'm going to talk about quite a bit as we're going through is what we're passionate about, and what we're really, really passionate about is our ranking as number 1 university in the world for climate action, and that is something that we hinge everything that we do on. You'll notice in that gorgeous picture that we just went past of the library in Launceston, you'll notice all of the wood in that new building, and that is actually a new campus that we've recently opened, and all of the wood there is deliberate as I say, number 1 in the world for climate action. We're moving away from using concrete actually in our buildings, so you'll notice all of our new buildings a large amount of wood. I didn't know, and did you know, that actually wood continues to absorb carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere even when it is in this form. So when you've got wood in your buildings, it's continuing to really just suck that carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. So this is our new library at our Inverest campus up in Launceston. But if you move on to the next slide, you'll see how we've also repurposed industrial buildings. Yeah, this is our this is some of our architecture students, and this old industrial building again has been repurposed. Gorgeous high ceilings and great spaces, creative spaces for our students to actually study in. Again, as I say, this is up in Launceston, and then you've got our campus in Burnie. And yes, when you get to it, you'll see yes, that is a garden on the roof, and that is deliberate because again, as I say, we know that plants basically suck carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. This is where the
weather is so nice.
It's beautiful.
I can even smell the air.
You can smell the air. So this is right up on the northwest coast, and we offer nursing courses out of our Burnie campus. And you'll see again, this is a new building, and this is the student recreation area in the campus. Again, just notice all of the wood that's being used, and as I say, that is deliberate. Locally sourced and sustainable wood being used then as well. But obviously, the places where our students study are critically important, and when you move on to the next slide, you'll see that when we say that the whole island is our campus, we mean that very, very deliberately. So our students get to experience real life. This obviously is working on solar panels. So these are some of our engineering students working on solar panels on campus. So again, these are real life situations that our students are involved in. And all of the images you will see in this presentation as well, they're all our students. All our students in real life situations.
Yeah, the energy power, I think in Tasmania should be very, very famous.
Well, it is, and you see that the university, as a university, we are carbon neutral. The island of Tasmania is actually carbon negative, which means that we are feeding power back into the grid in Australia. So we are actually producing more energy on the island than we're actually using. So that's why the island is carbon negative. But it's not only in the fields of energy that we're doing things that are different. We're the first place in the world where we've actually grown a lobster through its whole life cycle. I don't know if you like lobster. We were talking about it earlier on. The last couple of years, we've been very privileged in Tasmania to have an awful lot of lobster to eat, and just in an era of food stress, and in an era of climate change, being able to actually produce food like this in a sustainable way is critically important to the future of our children. If you think about what the world is going to be like in 50 years' time, it's going to be a completely different place. And what the research and the work that our students and researchers are doing at the moment is really contributing to making sure that we're still going to be able to eat lobsters
and actually
in 50
that's
years' time.
the world trend, because
absolutely
weather change and the people looking for the more safer environment, more clean environment. Yes, I think Tasmania now is quite popular, and the people is looking at that.
Absolutely.
Yes, and a great education.
Yes, exactly. And not only in the sciences but also in the creative arts. So this is our Hedberg Centre in the city centre, and it's right next to the oldest theatre in Australia. So our students have the opportunity to not only to learn in this wonderful space, but as I say, right adjacent to the oldest theatre in Australia. Look at the wood again in this picture, and in the next one you'll see our students actually in a real life class situation performance. It is an exceptional space. It's beautiful, and it's right in the city centre as well. And this is what our performing arts students get to. These are the facilities our performing arts students get to use every single day. So obviously we've got the sciences, the creative arts, but then we move into the sciences, and I spoke about nursing already. That gorgeous building you saw with the garden on the roof, these are some of the nursing students actually using the state-of-the-art facilities that they have. These models or dummies or whatever you want to call them, they're real life. Yeah, they well, that's what I say. Almost said they tell you if you've done something wrong, but they react. So it's oh yes. It's fascinating, as I say. The facilities are state of the art. Not only for
how many limited seat for international students if they want to apply your nursing program?
We don't
quota program.
It's quota overall, but within the actual overall quota, it depends on which campus. It varies from campus to campus. So we may have 25 in Sydney, we may have 20 in Hobart, and we may have 30 in Launceston. And it varies from year to year depending on the applicant pool. But if we have international students applying to study nursing and they're good students, there's no reason why they're not going to get a place.
Yeah.
And it's not only nursing, but in our medical research space as well, state-of-the-art facilities. And this is in our medical sciences precinct in the city. And again, this is adjacent to the Royal Hobart Hospital. So again, you know, we're the only university in Tasmania. Students have got access to opportunities that they will have in Tasmania that they won't necessarily have in a big city. If you think about the analogy of a big fish in a small pond compared with a small fish in a big pond, okay?
Yeah.
We look at our students as they are a big fish in a small pond because the number of students looking for internships, for work placements, etc., are much less than in many of the bigger cities, and guaranteed internships for all of our medicine students, for example. And we help the students get those placements. They don't have to find them themselves.
Oh, okay. Even how about nursing students?
Nursing students, we have what we call our PEP coordinators, which are our placement coordinators. They then help the students get their placements. Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. And this is our Sandy Bay campus, just to give you a sense of the students on campus and you know, just what they basically what it looks like.
From this picture we can see the percentage about. If the student is asking about the Tasmania, some of the students, they say, is there many Chinese students there, or is that I can't speak English and practice English there? But I think from this picture, it's about still still have a lot of pure Australian there and English people there with good English environment.
Yeah, we're the University of Tasmania, and our number one priority is to be the university for Tasmanians. And that is why you will see that a lot of the courses that we offer everything. We offer creative arts, we offer law, we offer the sciences, etc. Lots of universities are cutting their creative arts programs.
European students.
Well, exactly. But we're predominantly there for Tasmanians. So Australian students are our primary cohort. But then with our international students as well, we're very, very proactively diversifying our cohort to focus on making sure that we get students from many different nationalities. So there isn't such a focus
so it's very on one. Multicultural.
Absolutely right.
Good.
Yeah, we say that Tasmania, the whole island, is your campus, and you'll hear me say that a bit further on as well. And it's a living laboratory and a playground all in one. You know, students get the opportunity to study and experience an environment they're not going to find anywhere else. And programs, I think I already mentioned earlier on as well that you know, the Tasmania is double the size of Taiwan, but over half of Tasmania is World Heritage sites, which are protected and are environmentally so critically important. And students get the opportunity to not only work but to really try out great sports and hobbies.
So clean,
it's beautiful.
Nice.
Oh yes, the cleanest air, air. And as I said, we don't use the saying our whole island is your campus for nothing. What's happening over there is one of our marine and Antarctic science students taking kelp out of the water. So kelp is, do you know what kelp is? It's like seaweed. It's like big seaweed. But again, kelp is a really effective way. It's really effective at taking carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. But what's happening with global warming is that the waters around Tasmania and the waters around Australia generally are warming up. And this stuff likes growing in cold waters. So what our researchers are doing is working very, very hard to regrow kelp forests that are disappearing, but also to work to ensure that it is capable of surviving in those warmer waters as the waters warm around the island, so that we don't lose it. It's amazing stuff.
That's the next point we want to ask you about, your marine science.
Our marine and Antarctic science.
One in the world, in Australia.
Yes.
Australia?
Oh, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, marine and Antarctic science, in particular, is unique to the University of Tasmania. But not only do you have what's going on in the seas around the islands. This is the biggest hydroelectric dam in Tasmania, and our students, our engineering students, then get the opportunity to work and to experience working in places like this. And so this is obviously producing hydropower, but not only hydropower. If you move on to the next slide, obviously then we've got our wind power as well, and especially on the west of the island, for example, the prevailing weather that comes over Tasmania is from the west, where the majority of the wilderness is, and we have obviously wind turbines there, all contributing to the island's carbon negativity, pushing that energy back into Australia. And that's our students who are able to actually experience that firsthand.
Oh, now I know why we say, people say Tasmania now is the fashion place.
Oh, it's very, very the fashionable place.
Go.
But also a little bit controversial, because you have any idea what that round thing in the water there is? Now, you've heard of Tasmanian salmon.
Yeah.
So that is actually a fish farm. It's where we are growing fish, salmon in particular, off the coast of Tasmania.
Yeah.
But the problem is that when you have these fish farms close to the shore, they pollute the water. So what our researchers are working on doing is not only helping to move the fish farms further out to sea so that the pollution is less, but also looking to see what we can do on land. So you already saw the lobsters that we're growing on land through their whole life cycle. But we're also looking at what we can do in the fish space as well. So what this little guy is, this little guy is called a Tasmanian devil.
How come it's so cute?
Oh, they're very, very cute. They're super, super cute. Especially the little babies. The little babies run around. They're tiny, but they're very, very cute. But what was the problem with this guy? The Tassie devils were developing cancerous facial tumours, and there was a danger that they were going to be wiped out, and they only exist in Tasmania. And so our researchers then worked to try and figure out what was causing these facial tumours, and they've got to the bottom of what it was. Unfortunately, the Tassie devil is not endangered anymore. Now, also talking about endangered, what do you think this is called? The
fish?
Yeah, it's a handfish.
Wow.
I know. Now, he's a handfish because you can see, looks like he's got little hands, but he also sits. He's only big enough to sit in the hand.
Oh, really?
He's very cute. This
Can
little
we
guy,
touch? No.
No.
It will have. It will hurt me.
It's very. Oh no, it would never hurt you. It's too cute to hurt you. But they're endangered, and they were in danger of becoming extinct. So, and they're only found in a specific place off the Tasmanian coast. So our researchers have been working on a breeding program to make sure that it's not dying out, that it's not going to go extinct. So these are all things that our students, though, are involved in. So if you're sending your students to come and study marine and Antarctic science with us, these are the projects that they get involved in.
Wow. Okay.
Very unusual.
So if some student is looking for investigator, animal, special agricultural.
Absolutely. Anything to do with agriculture, marine and Antarctic science, anything along those lines. And you already mentioned about the clean skies. Well, yes, absolutely. And so this place is at a place called Cambridge, just outside Hobart. And this is where you can see into space from telescopes. It pictures the lights you've never seen before. Absolutely. And we're working with various satellite companies, with various technology companies to help them to develop their satellite capability going forward, because having the cleanest air pretty much in the world, you can see further into space than you can see from many, many other places, which is
so many stars.
amazing.
You've never seen them so many stars in Taipei.
No, exactly. It really, really is amazing. And we have the Southern Lights in so have you heard about the aurora? The Southern Lights, where you see the green and the pink in the sky. Yeah. We see that.
You can see that.
Not in this picture, but I saw it from my flat a week ago.
Wow.
It was so strong. It's beautiful. But what you were talking about agriculture, so our students, these are some of our agriculture students up in the north of the state, and working hands-on in the fruit farms, in the vegetable fields, the orchards. Tasmania is called the Apple Isle because it used to produce the most apples. Tasmanian apples were exported all over the world.
Famous. I ate that before.
Tasmanian apples are beautiful.
And your cherry.
Oh yes, we're going to get to a picture of the cherries in a minute, because not only do we have the cleanest air, but also the cleanest water, which has helped to make the best whiskey in the world. Now, you think of whiskey, you think of Ireland, and you think of Scotland, but 2 years ago, the Lark Distillery won the award for the best whiskey in the world, and we reckon it's a lot to do with the fantastically clean water that you get on Tasmania.
Okay, yes, we find out the selling point.
Oh,
we
yes.
need to go there.
We need to go there, but you'll also see.
So you also teach students how to make whiskey?
That is part of our Diploma of Sustainable Living, absolutely, is distilling, but the Lark Distillery is a small company, and our business students get to undertake internships with many small companies around Tasmania.
Oh, really?
So not
business
only
students.
So absolutely. So the distillery is a business. They're not only developing the product, they've got to sell it, they've got to market it, and they've got to sell it, and that's where our business students get involved in their internships, not only at the Lark Distillery but in the many other small companies and big companies that we have in Tasmania. Did you know Cadbury's chocolate? You've heard about Cadbury's chocolate?
Yeah, I ate that.
Yeah, you would have eaten.
I ate everything in Tasmania.
Yeah, absolutely. And I reckon that everybody has tried Tasmanian chocolate. Well, did you know? Not many people know this. The first Cadbury's chocolate factory outside of the UK. Guess where?
Tasmania.
Uh-huh.
Oh, why they choose Tasmania?
Not a clue, but it's still there to this day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because the weather?
I think it's to do with the environment.
Environment.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And the milk that they need to make the chocolate, obviously, we have many cows and other livestock. You've already mentioned the cherries, so here are some of our students, again, trying to make sure that the fruit and vegetables remain pest and disease free, so that our local producers can continue with their fantastic businesses that they've built up and export the cherries. As you know, round about New Year, Tasmanian cherries are found very much here. And then our and those aren't even the biggest ones. Some of the big, they're amazing, and they're so sweet. And so, as I already said, our students get the chance to meet with local business people, to find out from them how they run their business, to learn, etc. The hospitality and tourism industry in Tasmania as well, obviously, is huge.
Yes.
And so students really get the chance to interact in a really hands-on way,
Yes.
But it's not only in this sort of way. Not only is our whole island your campus, but if you are studying marine and Antarctic science at the University of Tasmania, and you have the opportunity to go down to Antarctica on our icebreaker, our island icebreaker. This is one of our fourth year students. And what she has it there in her hand is an ice core extractor. So what they do is they drill into the ice and they take out a core. It's about 1 meter long, and the ice can tell us so much about the history of climate. It can tell us so much because you can see when the ice has melted, when it has reformed, etc. So what she is doing, she was there ready to take her ice core out of the ice, and these two penguins just trotted up to come and say hello.
Wow.
So we didn't pose this picture. It just happened, which is the most incredible thing. I think this is one of my favorite pictures out of all of the pictures. But again, this is what our students have the opportunity to do. We gain research funding from the government, from various companies, and so this is actually part of the students' courses, to go down to Antarctica and to experience wonderful situations like this.
Yes. This is amazing learning experience.
It is. I mean, look at the penguins. It's almost like he's bowing to her. It's almost as to say, oh, hello. Very exciting. So, I mean, what are our areas of strength? Just very briefly, I've already mentioned first in the World for Climate Action, and that is the ranking that I am most proud of for our university, and that we are. I don't think there's ever been a time that climate action has been so critically important, and to be really ranked up there, and for sustainability to underpin everything we do to such a level is something I'm incredibly proud of. Well, obviously we're ranked in the top 2% of universities worldwide according to Times Higher Education in 2021, and we're in the top 1% for nursing, obviously really high in agricultural sciences because of just the level of what we do. 8th in oceanography and 27th in marine and ocean engineering. Our maritime engineering facilities up in Launceston at the AMC are second to none. They really are exceptional. And then our College of Business Economics is internationally recognised as well, with ACCSB accreditation, which obviously is critically important.
Yes. So the people, if they're looking for fair tuition fee and easy arrangement, I think the student go there can living at your student accommodation.
Yes, and we're going to have a look at some of the accommodation in a minute. Just very briefly, we don't have to spend much time on this, but obviously students come and study with us, but we need to make sure they're looked after as well, and then also that they have things like fast internet, because I remember being asked a question once, well, if you're on an island, then do you have fast internet? Well, not only do we have fast internet, but we had Australia's fastest internet.
That's important.
It is critically important, but as I say, just don't rely on me or the Sydney Morning Herald. We've got companies like Procreate. We've got companies who were based in the Silicon Valley, who have come to be based in Hobart, because this is where they can source the right people to work for them, and where they can just actually be the best that they can be in a wonderful environment. So if you have a look at Procreate, I mean, it's this one, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's made for artists, and it's the best app for using your iPad or tablet for creating art. It's wonderful. I've had a look at it, and it's based out of Hobart. And they are actually employing at the moment. So our students who are in Tasmania, who are graduating, can apply for any of these jobs that are coming up now, because these are all jobs for a top-rate company, and they're all based in Hobart. So not only, and as I say,
I should say COVID changed everything, because must be a lot of company changed to move to Tasmania.
They were here before COVID. They were here before COVID as well.
And then you have a fastest internet.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So why not move to Tasmania?
Well, exactly. And the next company I mentioned, which is Biteable, I mean, they are working. They're an online video editor for promoting products. There's no way in a million years they're going to be based in Hobart if they haven't got access to what they need to make it work. They're working with companies like Nike. They work with Stanford University.
Exactly. If I were there, I would move there too.
Well, exactly. So as I say, so these are all companies that are now based here in Tasmania. Well, obviously not here, I'm in Taipei now, but you know what I mean. And just on the next slide there, you can just see some of the companies that they work with. Yeah.
Wow.
So Nike, Regis, Coventry, Scholastic, just absolutely fantastic opportunities that students have to interact with these companies and have internships with these companies. They're working with over 10,000 companies worldwide.
Wow.
And they're based in Hobart. They're 10 minutes from the campus, which is fantastic. Obviously, though, students also want to make sure they don't only get jobs after they study, but while they are studying with us as well. And we have a fantastic service called Career Connect, and this is where students can find out about part-time or casual jobs while they're studying, but then also get real help on building a resume, interview skills, and the like for after they study. We have run career events and fairs where local employers come in to meet prospective students, and there are also opportunities for volunteering. Lots of students want to volunteer, and there's many local charities, for example, and events where students can volunteer. It's a great opportunity as well for improving your English, if you're wanting to be around people and just speaking and helping and assisting the whole time. So all of those opportunities are then available. But as you mentioned, where students live, we've got to make sure students, where they're living, they're happy, and they feel safe. I think is so critically important as well. And we've got a range of different accommodation options available. in the city itself, on the campus. But we've got a number of philosophies that we build our student living around, and it's very, very much around connection, around shared table, and sustainability. You've heard me mention sustainability before. I'm going to mention it until I'm blue in the face because it is so critically important. We want our students to have the connection to the place and to the culture that we have in Tasmania. Shared table, we've got these wonderful shared spaces where students can interact together, they can cook together, they can eat together. We know how great it is to share a meal with our friends, with our colleagues, and we really encourage this in our students when they are living with us. And obviously then we've got a number of other initiatives around campus sport, arts and performance, and leadership opportunities as well for students.
They will find their friends there.
Exactly right.
Activity there. Wow, lots of things.
Great modern facilities, sports facilities on site as well, and then obviously, as I say, just the chance to just be together, really. Which is so important, and just an example of the type of study room, study space.
So beautiful.
Yeah, and we've got the options. Students can live in flats.
Look at the rent.
4 rooms. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So let's go.
I think you should all come very, very quickly. I mean, compared with the big cities, the cost of living in Hobart and in Launceston in particular is relatively low. So our students, and we try and be flexible with the leases as well. Some of the accommodation students do have to commit for the full year, but others they don't. COVID changed that a lot. Pre-COVID it was all quite fixed.
Yes.
But we realised, COVID, we needed to be more flexible, and that is what that we want to do. So there's just an example of the different accommodation and the and how much the costs are.
Yeah, I think that this is very strong. Yeah, because for this accommodation for the student now is a huge headache.
It is.
Yeah,
it is, and we do have accommodation available. I mean, you read in the press every day that there's some places where they've run out of accommodation for students. We do have accommodation for students that is available, which is excellent news. Excellent news.
Okay. Yes.
And finally, I just want to say something about the Tasmanian weather, because some people say, and don't believe everybody and don't believe everything that you hear, that Tasmanian weather is bad. I challenge that. I've lived on 4 different continents now. I've lived in the UK, I've lived in South Africa, I've lived in Hong Kong, and now I live in Tasmania. Tasmania is the place I feel I have found my place. I love the sun. I love walking, hiking. I love the great outdoors. I love the ocean, and the Tasmanian weather is absolutely perfect for me. Yes, it does get cold in the winter, but name me a place. Most places do. And
it's
to be honest with you,
bad.
Well, it's not that bad. And all of the houses, all of the accommodation has got heating. We all wear our puffer jackets in the, our down puffer jackets in the winter. And to be honest with you, I love an open fire. So a lovely wood burning fire in the winter for me is just the absolute best.
Wow.
Love it. And that's pretty much, is that just a little bit it? And that's just finishing off an image that this is a wonderful place just on the southeast coast. It's called the Tessellated Pavement, and it's a geographical feature, and it's natural, but the rocks have formed straight lines. It's beautiful. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I must go there. I think this is too beautiful.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Yes. Okay. Thank you today, Helen, joining our video and to share about Tasmania, how good it is. Actually, before we do this, I didn't know Tasmania is such beautiful. But now I understand, and this is a place you definitely need to go. Okay, thank you. So see you soon next time. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.